Hello, everyone, and glad to see you back here at Silver Tears Tarot. And a warm welcome to those of you who are joining for the first time. So, you guys, I said I was going to do that early October reading. I wanted to take the broad view. And the first thing that I realized after I posted it was I said that I wasn't going to it wasn't the October reading for the Soulmate series. And then I thought, why can't we have one for the Soulmate series? And so that's what this one's going to be. If that's a lot of people's favorite readings, and we are right at the beginning of the month, so I thought maybe let's just take advantage of that and look what's coming at everybody from a soulmate perspective for the month of October. So, it's a general reading for all signs. The readings are also timeless. So you might be more drawn to readings when it's the right time for you to hear them. If it resonates, I would say please like, share, subscribe. So that way we can stay together. But I would also say maybe check out a few more of the recent ones because we're developing a little bit of a sort of a soul tribe here. And I'm noticing some patterns. So it might be interesting to see if this one resonates, then other ones might as well. So, soulmates in October, I guess, the first thing we want to understand is kind of what is really coming. What is the current energy between the two of you? If you've ever gotten a personal reading from me, I probably started by grabbing that current energy. And the current energy between you two is the Two of Wands. And so there's an opportunity here. That's what I see when I see this King of Wands. There's an opportunity to, it's got that sort of, sometimes the Two of Wands is about traveling and seeing the world. In this case, there is some traveling, but it's that emotional distance. So there's an invitation here to travel the emotional distance. And just to introduce my decks, I am reading for you from the Guardian of the Night Tarot. And I will be then clarifying with the Spirit Song Tarot, just so you have that. So there's this energy right now between the two of you that there's an opportunity for you to kind of meet in the middle, an opportunity for the two of you um, to cover that emotional distance that's between you right now. So let's take a look at the current energies with your person in particular here. And I just take the top card, the Magician. So with the Magician card, this is a very, it's a manifestation heavy card. And this is such a great time for it. So your person is taking advantage of the energy that's out there that allows us to connect better with to connect better with our higher selves, to connect better with our intuition, and to better manifest. And so your person is connected in with that, which is really a good sign. So we'll see what happens there when we clarify. Let's get a feeling for how they feel about you. And if this is just one card, yeah, we'll take it. Whoa. So the Lovers came out. There are some really amazing things that happen here. This is about you two coming together. They feel like you are very much another half, like you fit together. But there's also this sense of there being a choice in love around this. Sometimes when it comes out in the reverse, we say there is no choice. Here, we know we've got an opportunity here. We know your person is in their manifestation energy right now. We know that you have a choice, but it also looks like things are fairly favorable for you, depending on what it is that you want from that, because it depends on what you and your person have been through. It's difficult to say what you're going to want. So that's something that you definitely want to be thinking about, because there is definitely a possibility here to manifest it. So this is how your person is feeling about you. Let's get a feel for how they're feeling about your relationship. Okay, taking just the top one, the Nine of Pentacles. So this is the Nine of Pentacles is pretty amazing. This is a very it's an independent energy, but it's like this feeling of, I'm trying to figure out how to describe it. It's like the two of you are back to back against the world. Like there is still that independence and that feeling of, it's really almost independence that goes over into safety, because they feel like they've got their side, you've got this. You guys are both so capable when you're together. It's like a power couple sort of vibe. So that's what they think of your relationship. And we'll know more when we clarify, but that's pretty amazing. So they think you are like this. There's a hint of destiny too in this card. They feel like this is meant to be. They've got this manifestation energy that is heavy in them right now. There is definite opportunity, and you guys are like a live wire, sort of amazing when you're together. Let's see what kind of hidden energies, and what we want to know here in the hidden energies is like what is the struggle? What is maybe something that would be getting in the way, or something that would be, some of these people aren't together. Some of you aren't with your person, and you're in separation with your person. So the struggle is about release. So this is the Four of Pentacles in reverse. The Four of Pentacles is about hoarding and kind of holding on to things, and in reverse, it's about releasing. And so your struggles here have to do with releasing, and it's that same thing I say quite often. So it's about learning to release the attachments and the expectations and the assumptions about people, and the outcomes of situations, and those situations themselves. So it's that release that's kind of getting in the way here. There's an attachment issue that's causing a little bit of difficulty here. Let's see what's coming for you, like during the month of October, because this doesn't. This is kind of interesting. We've got some opportunity during the month of October. Your person is a manifesting master right now. They've got choices about you, or at least that's how they perceive things to be. They perceive the two of you to be fairly amazing together, but there is a bit of a blockage here. There is a little bit of an issue. So, and it's about releasing, situations, outcomes. So, what's coming? What is actually something that you can expect during the course of this month? I don't want to drop that. All right, got them all. But yes, what is coming for you during the course of this month? What's kind of a next step? And we have the Devil in reverse. So the Devil is it's a card that talks about control, and it can be an addiction. Sometimes you'll see it as an addiction, or a compulsion. You'll see it as obsessive thinking, all kinds of things that could control a person. But what I see here is a person coming out of that sort of controlling situation during the course of this month. So it feels like this is, I couldn't have picked a nicer picture for you here. You have all of this opportunity. This person's quite capable. They already think that the two of you together are amazing. You by yourself are just, um, this is hard to put into words. They are completely amazed by you and feel like you are basically two halves of the same person. But then there's this attachment issue here, and that's something I feel like we'll look at it as we clarify it. But this could present a bit of an issue because you've got something so beautiful coming. You've got this devil energy in the reverse. So something that's been trying to control you, or something that has historically controlled you that maybe doesn't anymore. You learn some new truth, or something changes here. So let's go ahead and clarify. Again, clarifying with the Spirit Song Tarot, and I want to start with this Two of Wands. So the Two of Wands, we know we've got an opportunity to bridge some emotional distance here this month, during the month of October. And we have the Four of Shells. So shells are water energy in this deck. And so the Four of Shells is going to be like the equivalent of the Four of Cups. And it's a card of, in many ways, disappointment. So here, this is a card of being impressed. It's kind of like the opposite of disappointment, but it's just, it reiterates some of what we're seeing here. This person is not disappointed. They are impressed, if anything else. So we've got this feeling of them sort of being impressed by you. There's an opportunity for them to bridge some emotional distance, and really it's an opportunity for the two of you together to bridge some emotional distance. So this is just a single card. We have the Eight of Shells in reverse. So one of the things that I was feeling earlier is that we have a lot of our people that are part of this collective that aren't with their person, or there's some separation that's happening there. And so this is an opportunity not just to bridge that emotional gap, but also to come back toward one another from an emotional perspective. So that Eight of Shells is very emotional. The Four of Shells is very emotional. It also reflects a lot of vulnerability. And so I would say that's kind of the energy that's currently flowing between the two of you. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to reflect in a conversation or that you're going to have a conversation, but that is kind of what's flowing there. And so now let's take a look at this magician. You've got a person who is basically a manifesting machine right now, or at least that's the type of energy they have. And this is a great time for that. This is a great time for listening to your intuition. It's a great time for manifesting, but it's not always easy. So this is absolutely the time they should be flexing those manifesting muscles, but transformation is not coming easily to them. So you've got a situation where your person is engaged in trying to create a transformation, but for whatever reason, it's not working. Let's see what else comes out here for this magician. Let's clarify the magician. So we have the 5 of feathers. Feathers are air energy. So this is this is someone's anxiety that they're kind of not having. They're actually being able to clear some of that and not have some of that anxiety. And it's interesting because, they're able to not have some of this anxiety and they're able to manifest peace, but they're having a hard time manifesting this transformation, which that's interesting. I'd be curious to learn a little bit more about this transformation. I'm not really clarifying beyond this point here in this reading, but that's something for us to think about. And I did a reading not that long ago that was about, it was a pick a pile and it was about your person. And so one of the things that came up was that, what sort of transformations do they have that they are trying to work on for themselves? What sorts of lessons are coming out for them? Just sort of, what's happening in your person's energy and in your person's life. And then after that, we did what is your lesson in all of this? And it's interesting, some of the things that came out. So I almost get the vibe that as I'm doing this, maybe some of you that are watching this might want to watch those as well. But so your person has this manifestation energy, but they're having a hard time manifesting that transformation, but they are not having a super tough time about it. When they look at you, there is this amazing sense, this amazing feeling when they're with you. I see that down here too, just that feeling like when they stand next to you, they couldn't be stronger. Let's clarify the lovers though. This is really awesome energy. There's a choice here. There's a choice that has to be made, but there's also there is an insane amount of love here. There's a lot of emotion, a lot of desire. We have the King of Crystals, and so crystals are earth energy in this deck, and the King of Crystals is very much about, that's like the King of Pentacles. He's the businessman. He's the one who has it all together. He's the provider and the masculine side of that 10 of Pentacles sort of lifestyle where you are very comfortable and you have everything you need. So there is a King of Pentacles sort of feel here when they look at you. So whether you're a provider or you just have that sort of vibe about you and that ability, that's part of what they're playing off of here. And we also have the King of Feathers in reverse. And so remember, feathers are air energy in this deck. And this one is about not looking at that big view, not taking that broad view. And so there's something about this where either they're afraid to look out onto the horizon or they're feeling like maybe that's part of what that choice is. There's something out there that perhaps related to this 4 of Pentacles in reverse where we have an inability to release a situation or an outcome. We also have this person feeling like when they take the long view with you, it's not as comfortable as when they look at what you actually are and what you actually bring to the table. And the bond between the two of you, just the Lover's card speaks volumes about that bond. So does the 9 of Pentacles though. And so I want to clarify that. This one is super interesting. The 9 of Pentacles, the feel that I got off of this one, it was like you put the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands together, whole different suit, same feel. So here we have the 6 of Feathers. That's going to be like the 6 of Swords. It's that air energy again. This one is about healing and about having gotten across from a more tumultuous space to a more peaceful space. And so there's a sense of that here in you, but I also get the sense that sometimes you guys are what puts each other into that tumultuous space. Even if it's not fighting, maybe you just make each other think. You trigger one another in ways that cause you to have to kind of look at what's the big picture here, what's going on. Cause you to maybe want to even take that long view like we see over here, but your person is feeling like that's not. I'm getting the sense they feel like that's not a safe thing to do for some reason. So if one or both of you is in a relationship, it might not be any fun to think about the long view, because there may not be much hope there. But I do still feel a lot of hope. So I see the Queen of Acorns here, and here's the Queen of Wands. Essentially, it's that fire energy. So the Queen of Acorns in reverse, and this one, again, as it comes out with that fire energy, the Queen in reverse. What I get here is that sense of masks being dropped, and so it's genuine. It is, because the Queen of Wands will kind of, she's very passionate. She's willing to do things, but she's kind of, sometimes she's willing to get there by any means necessary. And so sometimes she'll put on a mask, you know. So this is the dropping of those masks. This is how you guys feel together. There is just such a genuine healing sort of amazing electric feeling that comes. That's such an interesting characteristic or combination of characteristics. It's like you guys light each other up, but you also totally calm each other down and, just make each other feel seen. So that's pretty amazing. And this is things that we're talking about for the month of October. So we know that we've got your person here in a very high manifestation sort of energy, having trouble manifesting a transformation. We also know that it's a little bit tough to look out into the future for some reason here. But let's take a look here at this Four of Pentacles, because I feel like that's going to be related to, some of what we're seeing here. And remember, this Four of Pentacles was that hidden energy, what was going to impact you guys. And this is that inability to release. This is that inability to release, something. It may be that your best bet is actually to release one another, depending on your situation. And based on the way that they see you and the energy that's flowing between you, I can see how that may be very difficult. So we have the Five of Shells here. This is like the Five of Cups in reverse. This is the opposite of regret. So we have the Four of Pentacles, and something that just like you could see the Five of Shells, the Five of Cups, Five of Water in reverse can be a great many things, but all it is here is the opposite. It's the absence of regret. So there's an attachment here, but somebody doesn't even regret it. What else? That's interesting, you know, and I mean, that doesn't necessarily surprise me. If you've got an incredible bond with somebody, you may not regret the fact that you're very attached to them unless something goes wrong. If you have to be separated for some reason, then that attachment starts to feel very painful and very strong. Okay, so we also have the Page of Shells, which is like the Page of Cups. And so it's a small communication. And really what I'm seeing here is small communication is the outcome. So we've got this fear here of, releasing, this inability to release. But, you know, maybe somebody's not even trying. It's like, I almost get this sense like, yeah, I smoke and I don't like it. I'm not even trying to stop. Except that I don't think we think about an inability to, release attachments being quite as damaging as smoking, but it's something to think about, right? So you've got somebody here that has said they don't regret having this attachment, feeling this attachment, but there's something in here that makes their message smaller than usual, and this could create a little bit of a miscommunication, could create a problem, could be part of why their transformation isn't coming quite through, why this opportunity hasn't quite been taken yet. But there's something cool here with the Devil in reverse. So let's clarify that as well. So we've got our first card here. We'll just take the top one. So this is the Fool in reverse. So there's going to be something that you don't do, something that you decide not to do. You have an opportunity to jump in. Not this opportunity, does not feel like that opportunity. You have an opportunity to jump into something, you choose not to take it, but it's almost like you were being, yes, it's almost like you were being twisted. Your arm was being twisted into taking this opportunity, but you chose not to take it. And in so doing, you walk away from being under the control of this person. So here's the opportunity you don't take. Here's the flow of emotion you don't allow. So there is a recent reading, and I can't remember if it was on YouTube or if it was a personal one, but it was where, oh no, I think it was an extended on a YouTube reading, and it was, man, some of these extendeds, you guys, are off the chain. Just so you know, if you ever feel like you want to watch one, it might be a good hunch. I would maybe go do it. Some of those come out better than the YouTube readings. But anyway, so there was this need to stem the flow of emotion, which was going to be a really difficult thing for the person to do. But it was also going to be, it would lead them to the right place, and it would lead them to a situation where they were putting an end to something that maybe didn't make very much sense. And that is the same feeling that I get here. It's stemming that flow of emotions that is allowing this thing to control you. It's walking all over you in some way, but all of a sudden, by refusing and by not going that direction and pouring into it and feeding it, you end up in this better position where all of a sudden this thing doesn't have control over you as much. So that's pretty awesome. We have, you've got an opportunity to do something here. You've got a person who's trying and maybe doing some struggling, but maybe not that concerned about it, trying to do some manifestation. They are crazy about you. They think you are absolutely the best, but they're a little nervous about the future and have a hard time taking that long view. And then when we look over here, like this is just this piece that shines out to me. We've got the Nine of Pentacles where they feel like they've never been stronger than they are when they're standing next to you. You bring them this calmness, and yet you electrify them, and you make them feel like nothing could be more true. Nothing could be more genuine. And it's just this amazing sort of feeling. So they're attached. They don't want to let go. Maybe both of you are, and maybe you don't regret it, but it is impacting the way that you're coming out to the world, the way that you're communicating. It is holding you back in some way. So that's something, I don't know, maybe we need to look into that, because I definitely feel like this is amazing. I definitely want us to look into this, because this is going to be about what is happening here that you decide not to do. You decide not to do something and not to provide. You don't put energy towards something, and it stops something from controlling you. And so I feel like that's kind of a huge deal. So I want to look at those as we go into the extended, maybe. But before we do that, let's go ahead and get you an oracle card. And this is from the Messages from the Mermaids deck. Let's get you a card from this. This one is really interesting. Each one of these just kind of has a beautiful picture, but it has a concept, and it's useful. I've found when I'm just looking for, give me a word of advice, literally a word of advice, and Spirit will fill in the rest, and we'll understand, what the guidance is from that. But just kind of, we're looking across the month of October. We're looking at soulmates. What is that guidance that we need for this month as we're kind of navigating the situation? We've got one that turned over here, and it's contentment. So this is a really beautiful concept, really beautiful card, awesome colors. But honestly, some of the contentment that we see in this reading is worthy of mention. Not so this isn't necessarily going to feel like contentment at the time that it happens but to release this, or to be released from this situation with something that's controlling you, gives you an opportunity for contentment. And so contentment becomes a reminder. You have something that is amazing here, even if you're not in communication with this person right now, even if you're getting kind of choked up around the attachment piece. This contentment card reminds you that having had the experience is a gift in itself. Also, it's not over yet. You've got this person that's still manifesting here. They haven't quite manifested the transformation they're seeking. So I guess, as we're thinking about going into the extended, one of the things I want to look at is probably these two piles right here together. So this is going to be, and that might sound crazy, but let me explain. So this is something that you are learning. It's your next step, okay? And it's a very near term next step. So maybe it's happening during the month of October, but I'm curious to understand what it blossoms into. So you're coming out from under the thumb of something here. You've got a person who's trying to manifest something but is having trouble manifesting this transformation. So let's put those together and say what is likely to happen between the two of you as we look forward. And, one of the other things that's just amazing here is how this person views you. I want to get a little bit closer in on that too, because there's more to it. I can feel that there's more to it, especially when we get to even this piece about I'm amazingly comfortable with you, but I am afraid to look into the future. And so let's look into how your person feels about you. I mean, we know that they feel great things about you, but we'll look a little bit more deeply. We'll look at what's likely to happen next. And then, of course, I'll ask my famous bridge question, which is really going to be kind of deal with this element of the reading. And we'll talk about what it is that has to change in order for you to get to that next step of really where you're going. So let's take a look at that. I would just say if this resonated with you, then hopefully I'll see you over in the extended. If not, still, if it resonated, please do like, share, and subscribe so that I can continue to offer things that are cool that you would like to see. And I will see you next time.